Most people say lmms is the identical DAW to FL Studio, but to my opinion, it's not. So almost every major DAW like FL Studio, Studio One, Ableton, a few to mention, they do have free DAWs that come along with them. Usually these kind of DAWs are made for people who are starting out with the software, like to get a glimpse on how the major DAW is going to look like. And then there's, on the other side, we do have those like lmms, Audacity, Cakewalk, BandLab, and for them it is kind of different. Every free DAW is kind of different with the workflow, but specifically I'm gonna be talking about lmms. What are your major things that you're looking out in a DAW? You know, me personally, I'm looking out for a DAW that can record audio, that can edit audio, that can play MIDI, that can sequence. Quite a lot of things that I'm always looking out in a DAW. The things that I'm looking out for a DAW right now are not the things that I was looking out in a DAW 2 years back or 3 years back. That wasn't the case. I want to know what are the things that you're looking out in a DAW in the comment section. So I think with lmms, in the long run, I'm not trying to say that lmms is bad, but in the long run you're gonna need a second DAW to work hand in hand. Either most of lmms users actually use Audacity for recording audio, guitars, vocals, and all that, but then it kind of gets hectic when you do that whole beat, then you shift it back to Audacity or any other DAW to mix and master. I've been using lmms for almost 4 years now, I think, and one of the most challenging things with lmms users is that it kind of gets technical with editing audio. You know, it's the worst at editing audio, I won't say, but when should you need lmms? So I would say if your target, if you're a beat maker and you're not into recording vocals or artists and stuff like that, lmms is good for you. You can literally make fire beats in there and mix and master all your beats there, no problem. But if you're looking out for getting into the industry, you know, producing for artists, I think you do really need a major DAW to work with. That's my personal opinion, because I've been in the sessions with artists lately whereby they just want to, you know, drop on a beat, lay down something, then jump onto another beat, lay down something. At the very end of the session, they want to take the whole beat and then they write down something. Then they do come back for another session to finish off the song. Whereby if you're using lmms, you cannot be doing that at a very high speed, because sometimes these kind of artists are always on time and they booked a studio session and they want to use their time very, very well and effective. So if you're using lmms, you cannot do that. You need a DAW. Like lately with sessions, I've been meeting up artists who want to use Logic Pro X only because they do carry the project file. And if you're recording, let's say in Studio One, it's not gonna work for them. So some artists prefer using certain software because they are engineers and whatever, they prefer working in those DAWs. So I might have gone off topic a little bit, but I think it's so important. So if you're choosing a DAW to use, or if you're using lmms as your major DAW, you have to list down things that you want to do. Which road do you want to take? Are you doing music for free, for fun, for yourself, or you're looking out to go into the mainstream? And if you're using lmms as a fun thing, you know, you're just making beats, that's well and cool. You don't need anything like that. And most of these free DAWs like Reaper and Cakewalk, my bad, they do actually have those features whereby you can. So I was saying earlier on, those like Cakewalk and Reaper, they actually do have those features of recording audio and stuff, but they are free. And I think lmms being an open source software, I think you can mess around with it, but I think it has taken long without them actually updating the audio part, because I think it's the most requested thing in the community, because I always check there. Back to the reasons why we do use lmms. Lmms as a DAW itself, it's very awesome for beat making, you know. And if you've used lmms and you know very well lmms, you can actually, in my opinion, you can actually shift around many DAWs. Like most people say lmms is the identical DAW to FL Studio, but to my opinion it's not. lmms is a DAW of its own. It's independent of its workflow. I don't know why people relate it to FL Studio, because I've used FL once or twice, but things don't really go well with me using FL, because I'm not saying it's hard, but it's not identical. Well, the only thing that is identical is the beat and the bassline editor that actually looks around, which almost every DAW has actually created. I think Logic has a beat sequencer, even Studio One. I don't know for Ableton. lmms has a learning curve, as I was telling you guys, that when you learn lmms, it's very easy for you. You know, once you get a production idea, you can actually apply it to every DAW. You may stumble at first, but you know, there is always a learning curve. So just a motivation for all lmms users: stay using lms, because it's actually a wonderful DAW. lmms has it actually supports VST plugins that most of these free DAWs don't really have. Like if you look at Studio One Prime, I think it doesn't allow VST plugins, and it has limited tracks, despite the fact that you can actually be flexible with everything, but you're limited to VST plugins. You actually are gonna use the stock that is also actually limited. So with lmms, you get unlimited sound. You can actually load a lot of plugins there. I've used Contact in lmms, I've used Expand, I've used Analog Lab, like a lot of plugins that can work in lmms, which actually don't match with the category of those that we marked, like Pro Tools first, Studio One Prime, Ableton. With the DAWs like Cakewalk and Reaper, for them they're actually perfect. I have nothing to say about them. I've used Reaper before and it's also nice. The main goal for this video was actually for lmms, because I always get questions like, hey, how did you record that in lmms? How did you do this in lmms? Sometimes it's I don't record vocals, but when people see something on the timeline in the where the sample track is supposed to be, they actually think that I recorded that in lmms. But well, no, I don't record. lmms cannot record audio. So one thing that I have to tell you is to get a secondary DAW that you can work with hand in hand with lmms. Another thing is to know what goals that you're trying to accomplish. If you're just doing music for fun, well, lmms is, you don't need other DAW, well and good. But if you're into mainstream, you want to record vocals, you want to mix and master vocals, where you need a secondary DAW. And another thing that I didn't mention, I actually ever got a placement with lmms. So don't undermine what lmms can produce. Still producing. And yeah, it's a long video. I don't know whether I'll cut out some stuff, but yeah, I just wanted to say whatever I've said. And stay locked in to the channel. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe and join the family. So yeah, I think I'm out. Peace as always.